Hi everyone, I'm Dom Griffin. I'm a film critic and you're watching the Armchair Auteur. This is an ongoing video series I do where we talk about new movies, old movies, screenplay analysis, television series reviews, that sort of thing. So if you like movies and you like movie adjacent to popular culture and you like to see somebody pick those things apart, you are in the right place and you should consider subscribing. Today, I'm reviewing The Protege, the new film starring Maggie Q, Samuel L. Jackson, Michael Keaton, Robert Patrick, other people, and it's directed by Martin Campbell. Going into this movie, I knew literally nothing about it other than that it was an action movie, and that those people were in it, and then Martin Campbell directed it. And that was enough for me to want to see it. Obviously, I went into it with somewhat low expectations because this looked, on the surface, like the kind of movie that would just get dumped on VOD and be like fine enough, like watchable enough on a Friday night if you're bored and don't want to leave the house. But having seen the film, I think it's a little more special than that. I loved it. I had an absolute blast, spoiler alert. But my strong recommendation of the film comes with a bit of a caveat that we will get into later in the video. For starters, The Protege has a very simple premise. Maggie Q plays Anna, who is an assassin who works under Samuel Jackson's character Moody. Moody met her when she was a young girl in Vietnam, and he saved her in Saigon from like this massacre she was a part of, and taught her the tools of the trade. And they've been very close ever since. They work together, they find people that can't be found, and then she or he, together they kill them and make money off of it. Anna runs a bookstore during the day, like her regular job is that she's like a book collector, and she's also like really dope. Very early in the film, as you can probably tell from the trailers, Samuel Jackson's character does not make it. Some stuff happens to him, and Anna has to avenge the loss of her father figure, which sets her on a collision course with a character named Rembrandt, played by Michael Keaton, who is sort of like this cat and mouse love interest thing for her. I don't want to get too much deeper into the plot, but it's a movie that has a badass woman played by Maggie Q shooting and kicking people, and there's intrigue, there's mystery. It's one of those. It sort of feels like a spy movie at times. It sort of feels like a martial arts movie at times. Mostly a revenge thriller, mostly a shoot 'em up, bang bang, kick kick. Definitely the kind of thing we love to see on this channel. Right off the bat, I have to say that The Protege is one of the more fun, streamlined, and brutal action films I have seen in quite a long time. It is not exactly a John Wick clone, like by any sense of the imagination. It's nothing like Bob Odenkirk's Nobody, but I cannot think of a movie, probably since John Wick 3, that has as many satisfying headshots in a movie. Like every time someone gets shot in this movie, it's like really dope. And I know that like in a vacuum saying that sounds bad, and it sounds like I'm just really into violence, and I am. But watching this movie was one of the most satisfying action experiences I've had in recent memory. Now, it's not like up here to where it's like you have to go out of your way to see it. It's not like The Night Comes for Us or something like that. But for the kind of movie it is, the kind of sort of low-hanging fruit, you know, late summer action programming thing, it is really solid. The scene-to-scene transitions and reveals are very efficient, very straightforward. The dialogue is like a little too cute at times, but it's still very charming. There's some good patter. Everything is lensed and choreographed well. Like you can see what's going on. There's good geography. It is like all you want from a movie like this. When you see a movie that's about an assassin killing people or getting revenge or that type of thing, like, you know, this is meat and potato stuff. This is a movie that doesn't do anything in spectacular fashion. It's not groundbreaking. There's nothing particularly original in it. There's nothing I have not seen in a movie before. There's nothing about it that is revolutionary, but it works very well for what it is. Honest to God, sometimes you like going to a nice restaurant, you like trying new foods, you like experiencing new cultures and cuisines, and then sometimes you just want a burger. Sometimes you just want like a big, juicy burger. And The Protege is that. It's a really well-made burger. It's like hard to fuck up. It's very good, and it just rocks.
Oh, it's way better. I mean, it's not even a competition, it's just better.
Part of why I think it works so well is, well, one very obvious thing. Martin Campbell directed it. If you're not super familiar with Martin Campbell is essentially an undefeated director. He's not someone that's like an auteur that people like talk about and like pick his films apart. And he's not like a super popular name who has like a strong like box office record where you can put him on the trailer and that like makes people care. But he has an incredibly strong and consistent track record. Mask of Zorro, banger. Cast a Deadly Spell, underrated. This is a man who reinvented the James Bond franchise, not once.
You can't win.
But twice.
The second is... Yes. Considerably.
Even The Foreigner, a similarly budgeted and themed movie starring Jackie Chan and Pierce Brosnan, also a banger. The only time this guy's ever made a movie that wasn't good is Green Lantern. And that movie is so bad that it's definitely like beyond him to blame. Like that movie was probably destined to be bad. It's like a fixed point in time. There's no way that movie could have turned out well and have this timeline we're in continue to cohere properly. But also, it's a movie that has like real movie star power. So many modern movies that we watch always have like these random semi-famous people that are interchangeable because the IP is the real attraction. And you forget how good it is to watch like recognizable, reliable actors do the things that they are good at. So Sam Jackson in this movie, he's largely just doing Sam Jackson shit, but it's some of the most fun Sam Jackson shit I've seen in a long time. Michael Keaton, a man that we on this channel love very much, a man who can do no wrong. Does no wrong. He shows up, steals every scene he's in, just excellent work. He gets pretty physical in this movie and does some action stuff, and they have to mask his stunt double a lot, and it's not always masked perfectly, but it's Michael Keaton, so he gets a pass. And Maggie Q. I have seen Maggie Q in several movies before. I've always been pretty neutral on her. I've never had any positive or negative feelings about her. But watching her in this movie, it felt like the first time I ever saw her in something. She's just devastatingly good. She has such presence. She has great chemistry with Keaton and Sam Jackson. She has chemistry with Sam Jackson as sort of a father-daughter bond thing, and she has chemistry with Keaton as sort of a unexpected enemies to lovers thing. There's sort of a cool like vibe going on there.
And trust me, you don't want to know me when I'm testy.
HK 9mm.
Very good.
Not where I'm saying.
She just kills it. She's got great physicality. She's done action roles like this before, so it's not like new to her. But the choreography's good. She looks good. Her actual performance is solid too. Like it's not, you know, like a big histrionic thing or anything. It's very subtle and chill, but it's good for what it is. It's fantastic. Everyone in it does such good work, and it's just so fun. If I had any real complaints about the movie, it's just that at times, really around the third act, the movie gets a little bit darker and like meaner and honestly a little bit grislier than I expected for a movie like this. Because so much of the movie otherwise feels like a straightforward black comedy. Like it's actiony, it's not quite that like Shane Black territory where he's good at making violence and comedy merge in sort of like a gritty meets Looney Tunes kind of way. Like, it's not quite like that, but the movie itself, you're gonna laugh a lot. Like there's lots of laughter moments, like genuine humor, not like, is this a thing, dumb post-millennial comedy? But around the third act and some of the reveals and just some of the places the story goes to, it felt like darker than I had really wanted from it. But like not in a way that like invalidated the whole movie. Just in a way where I was like, oh, I kind of wish we could have kept this unique, weird little cutesier tone going a little bit longer. But hey, it's okay. I admire that they didn't hedge their bets and they actually, you know, went some places and made some real strong decisions, whether or not I fully agree with them. But earlier in the video, I said that there was a caveat to why I was recommending it so strongly. Like, I try to be honest with everyone on the channel when I like a movie and I know I like it because it's like meant for me, to not assume that if it's not your jam, if it's not meant for you, that you will feel the same way. Like, I know when I reviewed Nobody, the Bob Odenkirk movie that is kind of a John Wick clone, a lot of people did not end up liking that movie, and that's fine. I loved it because it's basically made for me. If I watched it again, I would probably have new critical thoughts about it and issues with it, but at the time, I had such a good experience that I couldn't think of any bones to pick. With The Protege, I think it's miles better than Nobody, by the way, but I could see myself in the future maybe cooling on it, not liking it as much or thinking about it differently. But right now, in this moment, I only have the one experience to go off of, and it's the theatrical experience I had at a screening for it last night. And it really lit a fire under me. Here's the thing. If you watch this channel and you follow me and you're not new to this, in which case, thank you, you can probably tell that I'm getting a little bit fatigued by movies for a number of reasons. I've reviewed tons of movies this year. I've kept pretty busy. I work at a movie theater. I'm back to work, and I'm just surrounded by movie-ness all the time. And as a result, you get a little bit jaded about the movie-going experience. As a critic, as someone who works in movie theater, you just start to look at movies differently, and sometimes you forget what you truly love about them. I've been going to in-person screenings for a few months now. Like, I've been back to the movies. I'm at the movies. I've seen movies in theaters. So like, it's not like it's a pandemic thing. But every time I've been to the movies this year so far, I've either been at a small press screening where it's just me and like 20 other critics maybe, or I've been at a promo screening that not a lot of people come to. This movie didn't exactly have a super packed crowd, but the crowd that was there was mostly people who were there just for word of mouth, who were just invited to build buzz for the movie. And it's kind of awkward to say this, but it was a predominantly black crowd. When you get invited to promo screenings, as a critic, very often you get this weird Oreo thing happening in the audience where like the middle back section is largely white movie critics. There's definitely non-white movie critics, but a lot of them are white. And then at the very back and the very front is mostly black people. So you get this weird thing where you get like this rolling reaction from just regular ass people who are excited to see a free movie on a weeknight and having a good time. and then all the people who were like quietly taking notes and stuff. Obviously, the critics, we have a good time too. I'm not saying we're all stuffy losers, but when you get a really good crowd of people who are excited to be back in the movies, people who don't watch movies for a living, or people who don't facilitate the watching of movies for a living, you get more honest crowd reactions. And even if you go to see a movie right now, in most places, you're not getting really full crowds. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're getting some people who are willing to go to the movies, and most of them are purposely trying to go when no one else is there. This was a screening that was largely very full, and it was full in a good way. It wasn't full in a I'm getting COVID anxiety way. It was full in a way where it was fun hearing people pop for stuff. Every time there was a line in this movie that was designed to make someone chuckle, people chuckled. Every time somebody got shot in the head out of nowhere, people popped. Every time Maggie Q kicked someone in the face so hard they like did a double flip, people cheered. People were like into this movie. And it reminds me of the whole year we had of pro wrestling not being able to be performed in front of audiences. Having crowds, having a hot crowd when you're watching something positively impacts the experience, and it feels good. It feels satisfying. It is a good experience to go see something and have it be a part of the communal part of seeing movies. Okay, like I've seen movies with people these last few months, but this is the first time I really felt like I saw it with people. You know, not just like people in the room, people who are engaged, people who are excited to be there, people who are happy to be there, people who like watching motherfuckers get shot and kicked in the face at theater. And it felt good. There was a point, 20, 30 minutes into the movie, where I heard a fucking baby. Someone brought a fucking baby to this R-rated bloody action movie, and the baby was crying because gunshots are loud, and I didn't get annoyed. Because when I heard that fucking baby, I knew movies were really back. Not just kind of back, not just sort of back. Movies, for me, and my personal consumption of them, felt back, and it felt good. I felt a real thrill, honestly, and it felt good. I haven't felt a big thrill with a lot of the movies I've watched recently. Even many of the movies that I've positively reviewed, either here on the channel or for Looper.com, they've all been kind of like soft likes. You know, they've been things like, this is very good, and I think you should see it, this is important. But this is the first time I felt that, like, electricity again. You know, and I can't guarantee you're gonna feel it too if you see it in a theater. This is definitely the kind of movie that I would normally just suggest people wait for VOD for, because it's like a prime VOD target, you know what I mean? But I have to say, I think you should see this one in a theater if you can, if you're willing to, if you feel comfortable doing so. I think you should see The Protege in a theater. There's nothing like being in a theater full of people when Sam Jackson says fuck. It just feels right. So yeah, those are my thoughts about The Protege. I think it's awesome. I think it's really fun. I think people should see it. I hope it gets like 10 sequels somehow, probably not, but it'd be cool. Thank you for watching this video. If you'd like to give it a thumbs up, if you have not subscribed, please subscribe, hit the little bell icon. You get notifications when I put out any new videos. There'll be more soon. And if you have thoughts about action movies, about The Protege, about anything at all, you can talk to me in the comments below, because I like talking to you guys. It's like my favorite thing. So yeah, thank you again for watching. Hope everyone's doing well, staying safe, being good to yourselves and each other. I will see you in the next video. Bye.